Hey everyone, Eric Bean, CEO of Happy. I'm a big fan of the Joe Rogan show, and I've had the privilege of listening to a lot of people try and fail to explain why NFTs are more than just a JPEG, including people and Elon and a bunch of other people. So I'm going to actually make a quick video to explain why I think everyone's kind of getting this wrong. Basically, a NFT is non-fungible token, which basically means it's one of a kind. It's snowflake. So if you look at the actual technology of combining a snowflake with a blockchain, what you basically get is something that's a unique identifier for any purpose that you want. Now, that unique identifier could be uniquely tied to an automobile, to purchase a physical asset, or any other physical asset that it is tied to. So that JPEG, as you call it, is now tied to a car title, a will, an estate, a house, a key to your house, a key to your car. So anything that's unique, yourself. So that unique identifier could be tied to your entire financial net worth in a multiverse, or not a multiverse, Web3 type way, which by the time it'll matter, it'll be Web 4, 5, 6, 7. So skip the number. I don't want to date this video. It could be your wallet. It could be your ID. It could be your passport. So the NFT, let's say you're traveling somewhere. The NFT is a stacked layer to create a one-of-a-kind piece, or it could just be, look at it as multi-layered so that it's one of a kind if it's in a collection. If it's not in a collection, it could be just a one-of-a-kind thing with an identifier, QR code, or some sort of mark on it. That can be your digital passport or your voting ID. If it's a digital passport and you go, they scan it. That's authenticated to the blockchain that it is one of a kind. It's associated with you. Maybe you have some other past sort of security elements that you add on top, like your biometrics, which I would never use because that becomes a security problem in and of itself. Maybe it's a password. Maybe it's a code that comes to your whatever, your phone or some certain app that's more secure than that, that's encrypted. Either way, you authenticate it. It's authenticated on the blockchain, and that is now in use as your passport. And maybe it's digitally stamped as well. And none of that can be messed with. That's the beauty of the blockchain, is that it's not editable as it would be for a database that's on a computer or in the cloud. Somebody can go in and make a manual change there. With a blockchain in a decentralized world, that data is now hosted on a bunch of different nodes throughout the world. So also can be used for tickets. So as you're putting together your events for comedy, each ticket is a unique ticket, a unique seat for a unique night. So each one of those can be an NFT. Now here's where it gets kind of cool, is you can actually tie in your NFTs, which is a ticket, digital ticket, one of a kind, into a smart contract. So let's say you do your show and you sell your tickets for $50. However, you as the actual show proprietor, maybe in your own comedy club, say, you know what, if this ticket gets resold by scalpers, I want 10%. So now it's a big show. Maybe Chappelle showing up, you and some other big hitters, those tickets start going for $1,000 a piece. That's a $950 markup. You've built in 10% for yourself. You just made $95. Now, if it changed hands 3 times along the way, each of those tickets now is worth a lot more. Now, for you, money might not be that big of a deal, but now pretend you're a musician or an artist on the road. You can actually sell these NFTs as tickets, one-of-a-kind ticket events. They also become collector's items. And as people become bigger and bigger and they start to change hands as collector's items and or for that specific event, the artist is no longer getting completely screwed over by Ticketmaster, because the cost of the actual ticket's not taking 25%, usually in the blockchain, depending on whichever coin you're using, whichever blockchain you're using. It could be fractions of a penny, as opposed to sharing a big portion of that with Ticketmaster. Now that money goes to the artist itself. Now, obviously, a lot of Ticketmaster has the big venues, but for the smaller venues, this can be really valuable. It could be the difference between an artist. It could be another 50, 60% in their pocket, depending on if it does change hands, or even if it doesn't, another 20, 25% in the artist's pocket. So this is why a lot of people like Snoop Dogg are thinking about moving music completely into the NFT world, where now a song, which again is a unique song, is tied to a digital encryption of the NFT, a digital asset of the NFT. So that song is now an NFT. they can go out and then build the smart contract piece in. But instead of just saying, I'm going to take 10%, maybe they say, I'm going to take 20%, then I'm going to leave, 30% for the artist. And I'm actually going to let the public buy the other 50%. So they can break up music or anything, a band, whatever they want, and say, you can buy shares in this band. And then you could resell them if the band starts getting hotter. Somebody could sell at the high and almost trade it like it would be a stock at that point. But you're actually not trading a stock. You're actually trading a portion of and or a unique NFT as part of a collection that is also a micro portion or a percentage of an actual piece of music, movie, band, anything else along the line. So when you combine Snowflake, one of a kind, with any sort of asset that you can tokenize, and anything in the world that's out there that would need a unique identifier, which is basically anything that could be bought, sold, traded, or otherwise, those stupid little JPEGs that are, monkeys, which I also thought were horseshit and didn't buy any of them, become really something of utility, and can go as far as wills and estates, houses, whatever you want. Anything you can buy and sell, anything you can think of, anything you can lease, anything you can think of now can become an NFT or tokenized. And when tied with smart contracts, it can be a source of residual income. If you're a realtor, or if you're a house owner and you sell a certain piece of property, you can build in a 1% residual on that. So every time that property is bought and sold from here to eternity, you get an additional 1%. Even if you're no longer the physical owner, you now still own that 1%. So it kind of becomes a timeshare to some degree. And I guess you could run it as a timeshare, but it does give you the ability to build in smart contracts, which basically are just digital agreements of the blockchain to make residual money. Where it really comes in handy are things like music, entertainment, movies, because at that point you can really crowdsource and crowdfund a lot of these things and make your residual money back without having to go to the big movie studios or without having to people tell you what you can and can't make and rolling out shitty comedies, which has been happening for a long, long time. So long story short, there's a lot of stuff other than those little digital monkeys. I just wanted to put this together quickly and share it. And hopefully somebody gets this to him so he can kind of get a clear explanation to understand why a digital Snowflake tied to the blockchain and smart contracts is actually a functional thing. And at some point, you'll probably be opening your house door with one, starting your car with one, and accessing your bank account. And, if the powers that be let this happen, which I doubt they will, voting with an NFT as well. So everybody have a great night. Hopefully this was helpful to somebody, and we'll do this again real soon. Thank you.